A 3-day road trip exploring the north of Italy and the south of Switzerland. Yes, you heard right, only 3 days to explore parts of 2 different countries. In this video, we'll be showing you how we spent 3 days exploring Milan, Lake Garda, Lake Como and St. Moritz in Switzerland. And definitely, to admit, although it was intense, it was one unforgettable journey. So the whole journey starts in Milan. We landed in Milan and the first thing we did was explore the town. At the time, everything was spontaneous and we didn't actually plan to leave Milan. However, we explored Milan quite quickly and then we thought we should rent a car and see where the road takes us. So we landed at around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and by around 9 o'clock in the evening, we thought we had seen the majority of Milan, or at least what was of interest to us. We then headed back to the hotel, and very early in the morning, we headed to the airport to rent a car. But before I fast forward to what happened after we explored Milan, first of all, let's explore Milan. So, of course, Milan is known for its shopping, for its food, and for its fashion. And it's evident, wherever you walk around in the city centre, you'll see signs of all of that. But one of the most iconic things of Milan is the Duomo. Time when we first landed in Italy, we didn't have a car, so we took the public transport into Milan town centre. And conveniently, there was a metro station right outside the Duomo, which actually saved us a lot of time and hassle, as you would imagine. The Duomo is a cathedral which is surrounded by lots of shopping and lots of food. This place is very busy all year round, and right next to the Duomo you have Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II, which actually is a very nice place. In there, again, there's loads of food and shopping, predominantly shopping, and if you're into your fashion, this place is just right for you. After exploring the Duomo and the surroundings, we then decided to take a walk heading over to Castello Sforzesco. However, on the way to Castello Sforzesco, we just enjoyed the atmosphere and the whole vibe of the city. Just walking through Milan is a whole experience in itself, to be completely honest. And don't worry, for you shopping lovers, there's loads of shopping along the way as well. It's only a short walk, around 15 to 20 minutes, with lots to see on the way. And when we finally reached Castello Sforzesco, we were absolutely stunned. This place is ginormous. It's like a fortress in the middle of the town centre. Again, you can enter here, however, there is a charge. There's loads of galleries and museums. We do recommend spending some time here as it is a huge castle which takes time to take it all in. And for those of you who are into history, you'll love it. There's loads to see here. But as well as just one grand building, there's loads of gardens and parks around the area, which are definitely worth taking a walk around. For the purpose of this video, we will keep each section short. However, you can watch the full videos by clicking on the links in the top right corner of the screen. So after we had finished exploring Milan, we then hit the road to move onto the lakes, both Lake Garda and Lake Como. So first we started off by going to Lake Garda, and of course we needed a car for this. So after we picked up the car in the morning, we hit the road to the destination. So the drive from Milan to Lake Garda took around about 2 hours, but honestly it felt like 5 minutes. That's because when we passed through the Italian countryside with the rolling hills, the vineyards and the small villages that you see every so often, it just feels like it went really quick. It's the kind of drive that makes you want to pull over every 5 minutes just so you can take it all in. And yeah, maybe we made a few extra stops, but that's absolutely fine. If you're planning to do this drive, make sure to take the time to stop wherever you find a sweet spot for you. And when we finally arrived to Lake Garda, the views here are spectacular. It's actually the largest lake in Italy. And as you can imagine, there will be a lot of views around this lake. You can totally feel the vastness when you see it in person, with the mountains on one side and the small towns on the other, and the clear water in the middle is everything you'd want in a lakeside escape. We start out in Sirmione, which is basically this picture-perfect town right on the lake. Cobblestone streets, a medieval castle which actually floats on water. If you're in Sirmione, the Scaliglia Castle is an absolute must-see. This is the castle that floats on the water. The views from here are stunning, and if you're even a little into history, this place will hit the spot for you. You kind of feel like you're in a medieval movie scene here. We also stumbled on a little market where they had all sorts of local goodies, souvenirs, cheeses, and anything else you can think of. Limone sul Garda was our next destination on the lake. This time, because we have a limited 3-day period only, we only stopped at these 2 towns, and the second town is the town of Limone sul Garda. This town is something that is definitely a must-see. If you have only 1 day to spend on Lake Garda, then this will be the spot. This town is almost like something out of a storybook. It's on the northern side of the lake, and it's a bit of a hidden gem in all honesty. And of course, the name gives it away, Limone. Limone is fabulous for its lemon groves, which have been here since around the 1700s. Everywhere you look, there's something lemony. Trees along the street, lemon-scented soaps in shops, even lemon-inspired foods. And of course, there is a lemon museum situated at the top of this town. And if you're not so much in the museum side of things, it's definitely worth going up there just so you can enjoy the view back onto the lake. It feels like the time has just stood still here, in the best possible way of course. Tiny narrow streets with pastel colour houses, flowers spilling out on every window, and of course the lake is always just a few steps away no matter where you are in the town. Obviously over here you can expect to see lots of limoncello, lemon cakes, lemon everything really. And the best part about Limone sul Garda is just how peaceful it is. Whether you're sitting by the water, wandering along the promenade, or just enjoying the view from anywhere in the town, there's a calm vibe that just makes you want to slow down, grab a coffee by the lake, and just enjoy the moment. There's loads of restaurants, souvenir shops, and walking trails around this town. So in the morning, we explored Sirmione and drove on the western side of Lake Garda to Limone sul Garda, and spent the afternoon in Limone sul Garda. We found this is quite a healthy balance between the two, and we managed to see what we wanted from both of the towns, as well as a very nice drive along the lake. For those of you who just want to see as much as possible, it is possible to see more towns. However, we decided to just take it slow and take in the most from what we could from each place. The sunsets from Limone sul Garda are of course amazing. Also from this place and many other coastal towns, you can take a boat trip which we highly recommend along the lake. This is something that does vary in opening time between place to place, so it's always a good idea to just double check before making plans. So with that being said, now it's time to hit the road again, as we are on a tight schedule to head over to Lake Como. Lake Como is situated north of Milan, and actually it's about 2 hours away from Lake Garda, but these views here are incredible. It did take us longer than 2 hours only because we had to make many stops, and the roads are quite narrow and windy. Along this road you'll find dramatic mountains, but some of these narrow roads just make up part of the adventure. And finally we get to Lake Como. There's a reason this place is world famous. The second you get here, you can feel the glamour. The lake is surrounded by these lush green mountains, and everywhere you look, there are these absolutely stunning villas. Actually, loads of celebrities have villas here, and I totally understand why. Bellagio is the place to be on Lake Como. It's got these steep cobble streets lined with boutiques, cozy cafes, and jaw-dropping views. One of the must-see villas is Villa Melzi Gardens, which is just wow. It's the perfect place to slow down and enjoy the scenery. Of course, we couldn't pass up the chance to have a drink with the view. Honestly, this is the kind of place where you just want to sit, relax, and soak in the calm atmosphere. If you're looking for a bit of an adventure, there's no shortage of things to do here. We hopped onto a boat for a fresh perspective of the lake, and it was worth every second. As in Lake Garda, you can do this not just from Bellagio, but you can also do it from loads of other small towns around the Lake Como. You get to see the grand villas from the water, and it's a whole different experience. From Bellagio, we head to Lecco, which is a tiny bit north. This spot is again a bit of a hidden gem on Lake Como's southeastern side, but again it's just as special as all of the other towns that we've seen on the lakes. The lakeside promenade here is perfect for a relaxed walk with mountains right there next to you. Plus, since it's more under the radar, you get to soak in a little bit more of the views without the huge crowds. The town itself is also amazing, with very colourful buildings, cosy cafes and local shops selling handmade crafts. It's just the kind of place you want to grab a coffee and just chill. So, to be honest, you can spend a week, even a month around Lake Como. It's one of the most beautiful places that I've certainly ever seen. However, moving on to the next part of our trip, because of course we are on a tight schedule, just an overview of how we actually got here. In the morning, very early in the morning, we headed to Bellagio in Lake Como. We then later in the morning headed to Lecco and spent about an hour and a half in Lecco, and from there we headed directly over to the Swiss border. But I have to admit, we did make many stops on the way because there's just so many small natural villages, and it's very nice to see them in their rural aspect as well. Of course, food is all traditional here, so pizzas, ice creams, spaghetti, all of that stuff is all very traditional. So we definitely recommend stopping over in some of the local villages on the way and just exploring the culture. Now, when we actually hit the road, we were wowed from every corner. Lecco is situated just at the bottom of the mountains, and going up through the mountains to get to the Swiss border is kind of all like a mountain trail. Unlike the roads from Lake Garda to Lake Como, the roads from Lecco to the Switzerland border are absolutely amazing. They're much wider and smoother, and actually you can enjoy the views from pretty much anywhere you stop. So around an hour north from Lecco, you'll find the village of Chiavenna. This village, or town actually, is definitely worth stopping into. There's so much to see here, and you can do it all in such a short amount of time. It's all perfect. So in our case, we stopped here for lunch, but actually found out that the town was a pleasant surprise, and we carried on mooching around the town for an hour, and actually we saw one of the most amazing bridges that you can imagine. It's in the middle of the countryside, and the square of the town and everything that comes with it is all amazing. It's definitely worth making the stop here. So the town itself consists of an old town, a little bit of shopping and loads of food venues, as well as old cobble streets, which are narrow, but they're actually really nice to walk around. Oh, and did I mention that in this town the ice cream is insane? The ones that I tried was ice cream, pistachio and strawberry, which were absolutely amazing. Now, for some people this might not be the typical combination, but for me, wow, it just worked so fine. Now, after this, we then decided to take a slow walk back to the car, but of course, again, we are on a tight schedule, so we have to keep moving. So far, we have seen a lot of places, but we're not done quite yet. It's midday and we have a lot more to see. A whole nother country, actually. So after spending some time here, we then hit the road again, and this time we're definitely going to Switzerland. No more pit stops on the way. On this road trip, it's almost like the further you go, the more beautiful the roads get. Once you pass the border, Switzerland and Italy, the roads are just incredible, and all of a sudden, all of the mountain tops were full of snow. And the more we climbed, it's almost like the snow got lower, but no, actually, we were getting higher because the incline of the roads is so steep. And just in no time, we're at the top of the mountains where there was lots of snow, even though it's only October. As we got closer to St. Moritz, the roads did slightly begin to level out a little bit, which made the drive a little bit smoother, as there was no traffic jams and everything was just as smooth as it could be. So most of the top layers of the lakes had already frozen up, and there was loads of snow on the lakes. And actually the scenes were incredible. It's such a huge change from when we first started this road trip in Milan, as you would imagine. When we finally reached St. Moritz, majority of the places were closed, but that's because it's not quite the season there yet. So this was expected, but we thought we should just mooch around and see what's around in town. So St. Moritz is known for its luxury, and that's very obvious on every corner you turn. But honestly, the views from here are incredible. The crisp mountain air, that Alpine vibe, it's just this cool energy that you feel the second you arrive. It's famous for skiing, but St. Moritz has much more going on all year round, as you can see. Whether it's hiking or just soaking up these views, there's something special about being here. Wow, what a journey it's been. In 3 days, we managed to see Milan, Lake Garda, Lake Como, and St. Moritz in Switzerland. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this trip, and let us know how you get on with your road trip.